Hello people of YouTube, I know what may be going through your mind. Oh my god, my glorious 315cm king Rob the Dacian tortoise has finally uploaded a video after 9 months. Do not worry my child, I won't procrastinate again. I put that on nobody's soul, you're just gonna have to trust me on that one. Okay, so as you can see, I have a couple of empires here. I'm gonna rank them. Most of them are European, some are, multi-continental, whatever. Some of them aren't even empires, but they're too cool to leave out. The Hellenistic period, again, maybe not really an empire. The Roman Empire, the basic bitch of empires. The Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. The Holy Roman Empire, the Second German Empire, the Colonial German Empire, the Third Reich. Again, not really an empire, but it has Reich in the name, so it's gotta be an empire, right? The Russian Empire, the Serbian Empire, the First French Empire, the Colonial French Empire, the British Empire, the Ottoman Empire, and the Austro-Hungarian Empire. This is all we have on the menu today. Maybe I'll make a continuation. I'll probably make a continuation of this video. So let's get right on it. Okay, so the Hellenistic period. I want to say maybe like a mid-tier, but this is like the empire. Again, not really an empire. I'm gonna call everything today an empire. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. The empire, right? Like, this is where everybody comes from in Europe. Well, not everybody, but a great part of people. Went to Persia, went to Africa, went to Turkey, most of, the Southern Balkans. I'd say this is a pretty good empire. This is kind of like the ancestors of the Roman Empire, and so I want to say it's this gotta be top tier, like top tier, the best out of this entire list. Like, this is where everything starts, without him, probably not anything here would exist. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the yapping and, keep doing what I'm doing. The Roman Empire. Now, is there really anything to be said about the Roman Empire that hasn't been said already on the internet, on history books, on history records, anything? Is there anybody on this planet that is conscient and doesn't have dementia, that doesn't know about the Roman Empire? I feel like there's nothing to be said here. Most of Europe, Roman Empire. Most of Europe nowadays, descendants of the Roman Empire. Without the Roman Empire, most people on Europe would be completely different. Spain, Italy, Romania, France. Well, I'm a firm believer that France is not a Latin country and it's not a Latin language, but whatever. If the DNA says they're Latin, I guess they're the Roman Empire. Most of these people without the Roman Empire would still be, bunking each other with sticks and stones. This is like the civilizing empire, even though it has some flaws, obviously, maybe fascist. Okay, so I'm editing this and I just kind of wanted to say I'm really reflecting in this Reddit ass statement. Forget I said this, bro. Like, what a Reddit ass statement. But him, obviously him, clearly. I'm sorry for the bird in the background, I can't exactly control that. Next, the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, as we refer to it nowadays. The New Rome, Constantinople, the Old Rome, Rome. Okay, so this is another kind of a case where does anybody not know about this? I mean, the Balkan Peninsula being united under one country for so long is truly a feat. It's truly a feat worthy of speaking of in the next 5,000 years, because as everybody knows, uniting the Balkans under one country, or some of the countries under one, is a horrible idea, as we can see in the recent years with Yugoslavia and all the mumbo jumbo that happened with the Ottoman Empire, which we're going to talk later about. I'd say this is a solid, I kind of want to say him too, but it's not the Roman Empire, but being, holding against so many powers for so much time is pretty admirable. I just don't think it's deserving of the him empire. In fact, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think anybody on this tier list is going to go on him, except for these two, because they're just him. Like, they're the protagonist empires, they're the main characters, so I'm gonna leave it in good. Now, The Holy Roman Empire. Not holy, not Roman, not an empire. You've heard that 1,000 times. I've heard that 1,000 times. I don't gotta say it, you know. But it's called empire, so I'm gonna leave it on this list. Also, I really wanna rank it. Okay, so the Holy Roman Empire. Ugh. On a map, that is. But you know, most people back then didn't exactly care about the map. You know, kinda high quality standard of living. Pretty cool, pretty big. Germany, you know, the first German Empire per se. I'd say this is cool. Like, no, but I just can't live in good conscience in cool. Like, dog, looking at this map actually makes me sick. This is actually... I've no words for this. I have no words for this. Who came up with the idea to do this? Who came up? Hang him now. Okay, you know, okay. It's not... No, but you know, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's not bad. It's not a horrible empire. It's a good standard for an empire, you know, kind of like the Roman Empire, just not protagonistic enough to put it in good or him. So yeah, I think cool is a good tier, you know, kind of mid tier. It's a good tier for the Holy Roman Empire. Now, the Second German Empire, you know, started the war to end all wars that didn't really end up in anything. Now, I know what I just said about, like, you know, the German Empire was, you know, kind words for an empire that started so many wars, so many times in history. You know, let's leave bygones be bygones, but I'm still gonna say it. they did kind of do it. I just can't say the same for the colonial empire. It's colonial. We all know what colonialism does. We all know what colonialism has done, and we all know what colonialism will do in all of history while it remains. It is a horrible ideology that, you know, destroyed so many countries, especially by some specific empire that we will start talking in a second, which I know you know what it is. I know you know what it is. I know. It's ass. It's a colonial empire. No, actually, no, I'm gonna leave it at bad, because it's the German colonial empire. But, I mean, no, they treated, out of this list, colonial empires, they treated their colonies the best out of all of them, but it's still colonies. Like, I just can't. Now, the Third Reich, not really an empire, but has empire in the name. You know, the thing in this tier list that might end my career before it's even, you know, begun. Ignoring the leaders. You know, I'm gonna ignore the leaders for most of these, if not all of them. Ignoring the leader. This gotta be like right next to the Second German Empire. Because again, yeah, they plunged the world into war, but they held out so long and they did so well. Like, it's actually admirable how tough Germany has been 3 times in history. 3 times have they fell down, and those 3 times they've risen back up. Like, it's actually kind of admirable. I personally find it kind of annoying because, you know, please leave the spotlight to some other countries in Europe. Stop being him. Again, I'm not gonna put it in him, because these two are him. Also, I don't want to be cancelled before I've even made like 3 videos or 4. Yeah, I think good is a good, never better said, ranking in my opinion. Again, ignoring the leader. If it was like, you know, paying attention to the leader, this would be like a new tier. We will create a new tier, bottom of the tier list. But, you know, ignoring the atrocities the ruling party of the NSDAP has done, and... Ah, yes. The Russian Empire. How I love being in a country which goes to war every 3 years, has had the 5th famine this month, and the Great Massacre of 1659, whatever year has happened again. This gotta be a bad, if not even ass. I can't lie to you, bro. Like, you know, biggest empire, gotta be some reason for being the biggest empire. It's not the biggest empire. Ignore what I just said. It's a big empire, you know, big empire, very big empire, must have a reason, but just no. I'm not giving any explanation. You all know. Now the Serbian Empire. Now we're talking. Okay, so Serbian Empire history. Kind of short, you know, kind of a minor nation despite being an empire. I couldn't really say it mattered a lot during history, especially like before the Ottoman invasions. Like they did not much, I'm gonna be honest. They didn't do a lot before the Ottoman invasions. Mining, trading what they mined, you know, agricultural state, kind of feudalism, you know. This gives off feudalism vibes. Okay, you know, okay. I forgot his name. Uroš, I think it's Uroš maybe, the guy that made it bigger. Well, we all know that having a big empire doesn't really mean you have a good empire. The size of the empire doesn't matter. Like, there's many empires who, not even empires, like any nation. Switzerland has held up for so many years, and what have they done? They have done nothing. They're not big, they're small. You know, it doesn't matter. So I think okay is a good tier. The First French Empire. Holy based. Okay, so, you know, Napoleon, we'll know everything about him. This is kind of another... I'm feeling tempted. I'm gonna be honest. I'm feeling... In fact, I'm gonna act on the temptation. Him. Liberated his country from, you know, tyrants. Was a great governor, was a great military strategist, proceeded to massacre most countries in Europe, proceeded to get the Germany treatment of having the whole world against him, and held out for a long time. Him. I can't say anything else. Him. This is him. This is where it all goes downhill. Like, I'm gonna be honest, my bias is really about to kick in with the rest of this tier list. The Second French Empire, the colonial one. We all know. You know, I could forgive Germany, because at least the German Empire was, you know, cool. Unlike the Third Reich, at least the German Empire was somewhat cool. And by far the least oppressing of all of them in this tier list. France, I mean, this is just such a fall off, bro. This is such a fall off. How do you go from the First French Empire to the second, bro? This is such a fall off. No questions asked. Ass. Straight ass. And next, I'm really glad I don't live in this country, bro. I'm gonna get beat up. If there are any Brits in the comments, I'm sorry, bro. Okay, next one. The Ottoman Empire. I don't know how to feel about the Ottoman Empire. I want to say I like it. I just don't think I do, bro. Like, yeah, kind of based empire, you know. It had been a superpower for a long time, but we gotta put him to rest, bro. Like, we can't have him no more. You can reunite Islam. You're powerful enough to reunite Islam, and you decide to go for poor little Bulgaria, poor little Serbia, poor little Wallachia, poor little modern day Romania. All of these countries in the Balkans who stand literally no chance against you, and you have literally no reason to go and conquer them, bro. Like, this is just the pure definition of imperialism. This and the Russian Empire, it would be hypocrisy not to have them in the same tier, because the Russian Empire and the Ottoman Empire are the pure representations, are the faces of imperialism. Like, bro, what is the purpose of going after the Balkans? I'm struggling to understand. It's staying in bad, bro. I want to like it. I just can't, bro. I can't. Also, I'm Balkan, so, you know, I hold bias against them. Austro-Hungary. No. Okay, so I'm gonna explain why this is in the bro period tier. First of all, as you can see from this image I chose here, how is this effective? I would love to know who thought this would be a good idea, bro? Like, this empire has been memed to death, bro. Like, there's nothing new to say. You've already seen the jokes. Nobody could understand. Like, in World War One, Austro-Hungary was very ineffective because they couldn't understand each other, bro. How this can't exist, bro. I'm actually offended that this monstrosity existed in our timeline. You know, Poland, Lithuania, at least they weren't exactly an empire, so I can't judge them, and they can't be on this list. Also, they were wholly based as well. But this is just atrocious. This is a crime against humanity. I hate you. Hang yourself. No, never mind. Okay, sorry. I that was kind of mean. Bad empire. Bad empire. That's just all I can say. Bad empire. This is so unfunctional, bro. Like, not functional. I can't find any other word to describe this empire. This is not functional. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today. You know, I'm him. You've watched him. Goodbye. Make sure to don't leave a like. I don't care. But if you have actually watched up until now, it may be because you're interested. So please maybe subscribe so I can reach. You know, my current goal is 500. Yeah, this is gonna wrap it up. Thank you for watching. If you have actually watched up until now, you're my king, my glorious 315 centimeter king, just like me, for real. Thank you a lot. Yeah, goodbye.